Hey guys. All right, now I gotta figure out how to share my screen and do all the good stuff. I am Tiffany. You got Wendy over here. Yay.
Good morning.
Wendy's gonna go through some fun housekeeping things, and then we will get started with all the other stuff.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our part 2 series. We did scrubs and enzymes on Tuesday. That recording is up on our website if you want to view that. Today, Tiffany's going to be talking about chemical peels. So we are Alexander's Aesthetics. Tiffany is our trainer from our California office, and I am here in our Colorado office. A couple things to go over. Just to get used to your control panel if you haven't been into one of our webinars before. We do have some handouts available for you. There's protocols and also the slides from today's presentation. So you can go ahead and download those while you are on the webinar. Once you're off the webinar, those are not accessible. So go ahead and download those now. If we can just take a few minutes and go into the questions box. I just want to make sure you guys can see, find where that is. We are going to be answering questions at the end of today's presentation. So go ahead and click in there and let us know where you're calling in from. Let's take a few minutes to kind of welcome everyone around the country. Shauna just asked a question. The downloads should be in your control panel. There should be a link to handouts. Let me know if you don't see it. Go to webinar, by the way, is very overloaded right now because of the amount of people that are using this platform. So there's been a few little glitchy things. They're really working on it. So if for some reason something goes funky, that could be what's happening. All right, here we go. We've got Indianapolis, Cleveland, Ohio, lots from California. Hi, Tammy from Ohio. Aurora, Colorado. Hi, Lynn. Phoenix, Arizona. Elmhurst, Illinois. Where else? All right, we've got New York, Lincoln, Nebraska, Port Townsend, Washington, Boston, lots from California. Yay, California. Florida, more from Colorado, Northeast Maryland. All right, thanks everybody. I'm so happy that you guys could join us and that we could give you some education while
it changed back.
He is home. All right, Tiff, you ready?
Okay, sorry guys, I had some fun.
You're good.
Difficulties there. You saw my cute little husband's face pop in. I was trying to figure out how to make this work. Thankfully, I have the tech guy living with me, right? Because this still is very much outside of my realm. Can everyone hear me? Oh, see, every time I touch that, it changes. Sorry, guys. Okay. If you can't hear me, you can raise your hand or throw something in that chat box. And every time I do that, it's going to kick me out. So I apologize. But you'll see lots of different screens today. So yay.
I can hear you good. Okay,
perfect. So I hope you have, clearly I need to drink more of the coffee that's happening. And I have water as well. We should all be drinking a lot of water. So today, this is part 2. This is part 2 of what we talked about on Tuesday. So for all of you that were with us on Tuesday, welcome back. It is Thursday. I know we keep getting confused on days. I do. We are going through chemical peels today. So what that means is we're going to go through the CA Botana and Skinscript. Those are the 2 lines that we have that have chemical peels. And we're going to do a little recap of kind of what we did on Tuesday. So some of it it's a repeat if you were with us on Tuesday, right? So we're gonna go through the skin type versus skin condition. We're gonna go through exfoliants, the different types of exfoliants, the Patrick scale, types of peels. Then we're gonna get into really what we probably wanna really dive into is the blending. right? How do we blend? When do we blend? How much do we blend of our chemical peels and enzymes? Now, when I'm talking about that kind of blending, I am basically only talking about Skinscript because those products are meant to be combined together. Now, we definitely can talk about how to boost up with your Hail and Hush and your CA Batonnet as well, but we're not actually blending in anything with those enzymes for the most part. We do have handouts, guys. So in the handouts are the protocols that I put together. It's the same one that you saw on Tuesday, but this one has added that boost in there to show you where you want to add that and what you might want to add to it. Now, I didn't make 1,000 protocols because I want you to kind of think of those things on your own a little bit. But I did want to give you a little bit of a base if you haven't utilized the mixing fun before. So let's kind of, again, cover those skin conditions versus skin types. So skin conditions are what you're born with, what you have. That's what you've always had, right? So you can have skin conditions are what are see, guys, I'm telling you, I get dumber as the week goes on. Skin conditions are what can be created throughout time, right? So you can, how many people are seeing adult acne now? I am. I'm seeing way more adult acne than I did earlier in my career. So that is something that can start happening. You gotta love hormones, right? Rosacea, that can also become a condition. Cuperose skin, hyper and hypopigmentation, you're gonna see sadly a lot of that as well. That's one of my main concerns. Milia and dehydration, like I said before, those to me, those will go together because milia is based on the fact that your skin can be really dehydrated. If there is not enough free flowing water in the skin, water, not oil, water, that means that dehydration, those dead skin cells will start to crystallize and they come up and they look like little whiteheads, right? And all your clients are like, I've been trying to get that thing out forever and it's not going to come out. It's because it's not in a pore, it's just under the surface of the skin. So you can't actually kind of try to pop it out, which your clients shouldn't be doing. I know they do, mine do. I know you guys do, because you know I do, when we try to pick at our own face. So milia is kind of based on that dehydration. But again, dehydration can really start to affect you later on. And aging, we're all aging, sadly. Hopefully you're gonna age gracefully. Hopefully all of these things that we're learning and doing now are gonna help us do that in a graceful manner. Now, sensitive skin, I did actually put on both sides for condition and type, because again, your clients will think that they're sensitive, but they may have created their own sensitivity. Or again, you can create an allergy to something, you can become more sensitive to products as you use them. If you overuse certain products, they can create sensitivities for you. So to me, it can be a condition and or a type, because you can have always had sensitive skin that's super reactive, that everything can actually make you break out. You get red, you get rashy, all of those things. Or again, you sometimes just environment can create that. So your skin type is what you have. That's it. It is what you are, right? So we have dry, we have normal, combination, oily, and again, there's that sensitive again, right? So sensitive is more people are having more sensitivities. I do attribute some of that to product, again, that they're using. If they're using incorrect products, that can create sensitivities. Some products, some ingredients don't really work well with certain skins. This is why there are so many different skincare lines. And I got a really good question on Tuesday about how do you pick a skincare line? And like I said, it's trial and error, but there's also different versions of the same kind of products, right? We have the hyaluronic serums, you have vitamin C serums, but there can always be that one ingredient that makes the difference for that one particular client. So that's why there's a variety, right? One thing doesn't fit everyone. So keep that in mind too as we're going through this. So common exfoliants, this I do think too, sometimes I used to get really confused, to be honest, when it came to chemical peels. I didn't totally get the difference between them all, but I do now, thankfully. But you also want to be able to explain these to your clients as well, right? So common exfoliants, enzymes, right? We covered enzymes on Tuesday. Enzymes digest the dead skin cells. They digest the dead skin cells, right? So we all heard that Pac-Man, right, comes through and then chews just on the dead skin. It's going to help smooth the skin. Enzymes are amazing. We love them for the fact that it can be a nice, gentle exfoliant. We're just cleaning the surface of the skin off. And for some people, that is more than enough exfoliation. Now you also have the mechanical exfoliation, which is your manual exfoliation. So the physical, right? We're scrubbing the skin, microdermabrasion, things like that. Those are your manual exfoliants. I love manual exfoliants. I actually also had a very good question on Tuesday about how you get those suckers off of the face, because I think they're a big pain in like the backside, right? For your manual exfoliations, if they are scrubbies, actually add an oil cleanser to them and get them off that way, because that oil is going to grab on to those little bits. And then Alexander's, we actually carry some really great microfiber towels that actually get that off. So it's a little extra side tip. Glycolic, love glycolic, right? Glycolic, what does it do? I would love to draw, but my computer is not cooperating with me today, sadly. Glycolic, it dissolves. I don't have a pen. If I had a pen, I could draw it for you and then show you. Glycolic dissolves the desmosomes between the skin, right? So think of your skin, and then you have those tiny little dead skin cells on the surface there. It's going to get in between those dead skin cells, and it's going to eat what is holding those dead skin cells together. It's going to chew through that so that they can actually slough off, right? Retinols, also love retinols. Retinol is a vitamin A derivative. There are multiple types of vitamin A's, right? Retinol is one of them. When you apply it topically, so let's say this is your pore, it's actually going to clean the follicle lining of the pore. Meaning whatever is built up in here, it's going to clean that out. It's going to break that up so that, again, it can come off of the skin, right? So that's a lot of times why retinols are used for acne, because acne is inflammation, right? It's embedded in the pore. It's going to help loosen all of that up so that it can actually come out and clean out the pore easier. So those are our retinols. Salicylic, right? Salicylic is a drying exfoliant, which salicylic is a beta hydroxy, right? Your glycolic is an alpha hydroxy. So alpha is water-based, salicylic is oil. Oil cuts oil, which is why we actually like it for our extra oily clients, right? It's also used for acne. We see it in all acne products, right? We see that because salicylic is antibacterial, right? It's going to help kill the bacteria and all those great things that acne is. Now, because it's a drying exfoliant, though, I really want you to keep in mind that if you are dealing with a dehydrated, dry acne client, salicylic is going to be a little aggressive for them. We'll get a little bit more into that when we get to the Cranberry peel by Skinscript. That is the salicylic one, which I love. Now, lactic. Lactic is a personal favorite as far as exfoliation and peeling is concerned. Lactic is a derivative of milk, right? Everyone has always heard of Cleopatra and she took milk baths. There's a reason. It's because it's super hydrating to the skin. It's really smooth. It's going to help really smooth the skin out. It's going to brighten the skin, which we all know we're going to need that, right? When we leave our homes at some point. So lactic is going to help draw moisture from the dermis to the surface of the skin. right? So like my coffee that I'm drinking that I love so much is dehydrating to my skin, which is why you need your water intake as well so that there is moisture to draw from. Lactic, again, is going to be one of those really great peels that is good for the client who's like, I want you to peel my face off. And you're like, no, that's not a good idea today. And all of your clients are going to come back to your office when we're done with this situation that we're in right now. And they're going to be like, take it all off. I want all new skin. And you're going to be like, no, that's probably not where we're going to go with this today. But you can slowly start with the lactic peel. That's going to help them feel like they've started. They can feel the tingle of it and all of those great things. But a lactic is a nice way to go. Okay. Now the TCA, I love Skinscript's TCA. So when you think of TCAs, you normally, they're your Jesners, they're the hardcore, shed all of your face off peels, right? Which for some, it's really helpful when you're dealing with scarring and pigmentation, things like that. This particular TCA is going to help brighten the skin gently. So this is a great also series that you can throw in. This is a safe one, I would say, for even the clients that you have seen for a little while, that again, when they come back into the world here and they come back into the office, they want to peel. The TCA is a safe one to go with because they leave it on for 8 hours. Again, it's not extra aggressive, but it's going to give that skin that extra little oomph, which we will obviously go through. Now, the Fitzpatrick scale, this is important, right? We need to know this when we are talking about chemical peels. You want to be sure that you're not creating extra inflammation, because inflammation is, as we know, it is truly the root of all evil. Now, some can be more inflamed than others, and you want to make sure that you're picking the right chemical peel for the right Fitzpatrick scale. So this actually I stole off the internet. And so if you don't have this, if you don't have your book, if you don't remember them, don't feel bad. You'll be able to find this. Also, guys, I know there's so many phenomenal things going on with education right now. If you have to bow out before we're actually done, don't forget to put those questions in that question box because I will get to them, but it is being recorded as well. So if you wanted to review some of those things we've talked about or kind of go back through, see some of those slides, you have access to that. Now, pH scale. Why is the pH scale important? Well, we kind of only tend to, and as an esthetician, I am also an obsessive compulsive person, so I get you. Now, with the pH scale, we tend to forget actually when it comes to peels, we focus on just the percentage of the peel itself, which is really important, but the pH is going to tell you the acidity level of it, right? If it's more on the neutral side, if it's too alkaline, if it's too acidic, right? But that's going to be based on what percentage it is. Say you have an 80% glycolic, but the pH is 8 or 9. I mean, you're not gonna, it's not necessarily a strong peel then. The percentage is high, but it's so kind of watered down almost that you're not gonna see the results that you're probably thinking that you would, right? +2, do we need an 80%? No. That's my own personal thoughts on that. All right, now the aloe vera peel. This is the C.A. Batana's peel. Now, it's a great gel base. I unfortunately don't have that one here. I have a couple of things here that I can show you that I snagged from my office. The aloe vera I actually don't have, but that's the little bottle there is what it looks like. A little bit goes a long way, guys. It's an aloe base. So what's great about this one, it's really good for the inflamed skin. I really like this one for those that have psoriasis, eczema, things like that, because what are those? It's just the dead skin it just can't fluff off fast enough. So you get these very dry, irritated patches. The aloe, as long as it's not an open wound in any way, if it's just built up dead skin, the aloe vera peel is so great for that. There's, again, the aloe base, it's soothing, it's hydrating, it's anti-inflammatory. It's going to gently exfoliate and rebalance the moisture loss in the skin. This one you want to leave on for 2 to 5 minutes. I'd remove all your peels with cold water. I do think it feels better on the skin. This also has malic, it has lactic, and it has chamomile. Now, it's a 20%, but the pH is 3.5. So again, this is more on that neutral pH, which is great. I love this one for the body. Keratosis Pilaris, so great. So if you're going to do a certain service on the face, you can upgrade and add and put this one on the back of the arms to help with the keratosis pilaris, right? Because what is that? That's actually based on dehydration as well. We think we need to exfoliate it to no end and just scrape it all off, but we actually need to, again, add more of that hydration back to it. That's actually what's going to help smooth the skin out. So I do have it. It's not active, it's smooth. It looks, you can tell it's red. It always kind of looks like that, but it's technically really smooth because I keep it really hydrated. I'm very on top of that. The aloe vera peel is so great for that, right? So again, it's good for all skin types, which is another reason why we love this one. 2 to 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be aggressive. It doesn't need to stay on for very long. Okay. That is the aloe. Trivia time. Yeah, Wendy's going to come back on, and hopefully, so far, even though I'm confused today, hopefully I haven't confused you and you can answer some of these questions.
All right, everybody, just a little brain break here to review. We've got a couple trivia questions for you. You can, we have a different view, but I think you can click your screen or click on the right-hand side in the control panel to answer these questions that are going to pop up. All right, here's the first one. Glycolic will assist the skin by, and please select one. I'll give everybody about 10 seconds or so. All right, we have got 90, well, it keeps moving, but about 87% are saying the correct answer, which is dissolving desmosomes between the cells. Good job, everybody.
Now, you guys aren't wrong. The shedding the skin through the use of acids, yes, it does that, but technically glycolic dissolves the desmosomes between the cells.
Okay, awesome. Okay, one more. The strength of a peel can be determined by which option? Okay, it's looking good. We've got 92% at the first question, which is pH level and the percentage of acid.
Good job, guys. All right, let me see if I can.
I'll be back in a little bit.
Figure out where I'm going here with this. I also have 2 computers in front of me, which is throwing me off as well. I also want to say hello to our other Alexander family members that are on. I wish I could see your faces. We have C, who is the California runner, operator, owner, the woman we love so much. And this Magpie is on as well. So Maggie, when I forget things, she's so good at making sure that I give all of the information, because she is almost better at this than I am at this point. So we love them. I'm so glad that they are here. They will also help answer questions, thankfully. Okay, so now let's get into chemical peels. Let's get into Skinscript chemical peels. All right, we've got lactic, glycolic, cranberry turnover, and the TCA. Now we're going to go through these, and then we're going to get into the rest of the fun blending. Okay, again, here's that lactic. I love lactic, right? Lactic is a milk-based ingredient, right? So it's great for normal to dry, sun-damaged skin. It's good for someone who's never had a peel. You're also going to have people come in and they're like, I've never had a peel. Take my whole face off. And you're like, I don't want to. So the lactic is so great for that. this peel does need to be neutralized. Okay, what I mean by neutralize, we are going to neutralize with a teaspoon baking soda, cup of water, right? Mix those together, 4x4s, whatever you want to use, cold towel, it doesn't necessarily matter. You want to blend those together. That's going to neutralize the baking powder, baking soda, sorry. Those two for some reason confuse me. The baking soda is going to help neutralize that peel. So as you're removing it, you just want to keep checking in with your client. Hey, scale of 1 to 10, what's your tingle factor? And once they are in a 0 tingle factor, then you've neutralized the peel. So again, the lactic we love because it's hydrating. It's milk-based, it's going to help exfoliate, it's going to improve roughness and soften the skin. This particular one also has alpha-arbutin and it has kojic. Okay, so there's 5% alpha-arbutin and there's 3% kojic. Now it's a 20% lactic, the pH is 1.63. So this is going to have a very nice fluffing. It's not, again, going to take your whole face off. Your skin isn't going to peel like crazy. You would have what I consider micro peeling. So it's where you'll feel kind of a little bit of dead skin, but it's not like your clients are going to walk out with sheets of skin coming off of their face. Really good for dry, sun damaged, hyperpigmented skins. Okay, glycolic. Love glycolic. So this is a 30%. It's a pH of 1.27. So what does glycolic do again, guys? It weakens the desmosomes. It dissolves those desmosomes between those dead skin cells. This also has witch hazel in it, which really helps to improve skin tone for aging, right? And it also helps restore circulation. What's another big challenge that we tend to have sometimes with our clients? There's no circulation, which means that all the toxins and all of that are just getting trapped under their skin. We need to get that blood flow back. So that witch hazel is going to help do that a little bit. The glycolic is great for oily, acneic, and scarred skin. So this is, again, it's going to help start to really resurface the skin. If you have a client who has acne scarring, things like that, this is a great way to go. You can do a glycolic peel and a lactic peel. You want to weaken those desmosomes. You want to break all that down first. This one you also need to neutralize. So it's that teaspoon of baking soda and your water mixed together. That's going to neutralize this. Now you only need to neutralize the peel if you put it straight on the skin. Leave it on. You can leave these on. I like to vary it, and I will apply a few layers depending on the client. If we're doing a series, I like to do a couple of layers. I add a layer, per week that I see people. But you'll find that it's not going to over exfoliate the skin for the most part, but we do need to make sure we neutralize it. So again, ask the tingle factor between 1 and 10. Where are you at? And then until they say they're at a 0, you just keep dousing them with the water and the baking soda. Okay. Yep, that sounds great, right? 30% glycolic. Moving on. All right, cranberry turnover peel. So here are, by the way, I forgot to show you, I was really excited about it too. But this is how your peels come. Your glycolic and your lactic, they come with these little pumps, okay? A little bit goes a long way. I'll probably use a ton of these on myself and my sweet, sweet husband over this next month that we'll be at home, because I will be practicing some protocols on him. We'll see how that goes, right? That's what we want to practice on. I always say hurt your family and friends, because that's what they're there for. So hopefully you live with people that you can practice on. That's how those come. And the reason why I bring that up, the cranberry turnover peel is a little bit different. It's a cranberry base, which how often do you see that? Never. The cranberry base is really great for your acneic clients because it's full of nourishing antioxidant and antibacterial. What is acne? It's bacteria, it's inflammation. And in order to help the inflammation, that we need obviously anti-inflammatory properties. Guys, whew. Cranberry turnover peel is really great for that. Now, even though this is a cranberry base, it's anti-inflammatory, all of those wonderful things. If your client is not extremely oily, I would not put this over the whole face. I spot treat with this. So the clients, because I do have a lot of teenage acne clients right now. So it's, you know, in those hormonal areas, things like that. So I'll just put it where it needs to go. It will help calm the skin down. So that's one of the things I do love about this as well, because even though it's a 20% salicylic, and because of that cranberry base, this pH varies, okay? So it varies between 3.43 and the 3.73, because the cranberry can be a little, when you're using raw materials, things like that, it's not always exact, so it can change a little bit of that pH. Now, with that being said, spot treat with it. It's so great for those clients who come in, they have maybe some cystic, just a few, or they're hormonally unbalanced certain times of the month. Just spot treat with the cranberry. It's so great for that. I do it on my own self when I break out, and I just spot treat with it. You will find the skin will, we call it blanch, or the skin will turn white. It's because when you're pulling that much moisture out of the skin, it's really normal. You have not burnt your clients, you have not hurt them. That's a very normal look. So you'll see that it's frosted almost. That's the word I really wanted. The frosting is normal reaction for a salicylic, to be honest. Now, two other things. There's witch hazel. So again, we've already said it improves skin tone. It's antiseptic, right? It's also going to help with that circulation. That allotonin, it's going to soothe, calm, and it's going to help relieve irritation. Again, all of these things are really good to help with acne, right? Because again, acne, inflammation, we have bacteria. Salicylic is going to help take care of that. Everything else in here is really going to help calm the skin. This is not one for those Fitzpatricks 4 through 6. So those higher Fitzpatricks, we don't want to use a salicylic, this cranberry turnover peel on them, because it can create inflammation, only because generally your darker skin types that already have very active melanin, it's already at the surface, and if it blanches, you may end up with hypopigmentation instead. So I would stay away with those Fitzpatricks 4 through 6. Which is why I wanted you to kind of refresh your memory what the Fitzpatrick looks like. Other than that, you can, again, spot treat it. You can use it on your acne clients. It's not as tingly as you think, which is also pretty nice, I particularly think. And I don't have the cranberry turnover peel. That was one that I kind of needed to re-up before we all got shut down. So unfortunately, I did not grab another one to show you. The TCA, here's the TCA. It does not have a pump. The reason why it does not have a pump, when you open this, you'll hear that hissing sound, like there's bubbles in it. There are no bubbles, but it makes that hissing sound. It's a strong acid. So the reason why there's no pump is it'll actually just push itself out of that pump, and it'll waste product, which we don't want to do. So it does not come with that pump, okay? So if you can tell here, which I hope you can, on these bottles, Skinscript is so great with their packaging, I gotta be honest, because it does tell you on here the percentages of things, right? Which is really pretty important, right? So this is a 10% trichloritic. Now, what this formula is, the TCA itself, that molecule has encapsulated the azelaic, the alpha-arbutin, and the kojic. It's what is bringing those ingredients down into the skin to help brighten the skin up, right? So the azelaic, that's 15% of this. It's going to minimize acne. It's going to help lighten. The alpha-arbutin, there's 5% in there. So again, non-irritating skin lightener, which is the natural alternative to hydroquinone, which our clients probably love hydroquinone, but you can't always use that, right? And then there's the 2% kojic in there. So that's going to help lighten any discoloration of the skin. So this is good for all skin types. You can use this on all Fitzpatrick scales, which is great, right? So it can be used on those Fitz 4 through 6. The TCA is super fun because this one, you can, when you put it on the skin, you can send your clients home with it. Thanks for coming out, guys. Peace. So they can wash it off themselves. So they can come in, you can make a series with the TCA, you can do a lactic peel prior, neutralize that, throw the TCA on, and then throw some sunscreen over top of that, and then send them on their way. So it's great. I like it when my clients come in at night and I'm the last person they see and then they just go home. I'm way more particular if I'm going to do a TCA, if my client's coming at that 10 a.m. time slot. I want to make sure they're not going out in the sun. They're not going to be at soccer practice with their kids, going to work out, playing tennis, doing whatever it is they're going to do with this peel on. You don't want any of that, right? That would be the great time to do it because you can't go anywhere. So TCA away. But you want to make sure they understand that this peel is to stay on for 8 hours. Now, it also self-neutralizes, okay? So you don't have to worry about them not taking it off and thinking if it stays on longer, it's going to work better. It self-neutralizes after 8 hours. It's no longer doing anything. So the ability for your client to harm themselves with this one is 0. So again, you're only going to obviously put it on in the office. You're not going to send them home with this, but you'll send them home with it on, but you will not send them home with the bottle because clients are going to be like, oh, if I put 12 layers on every day, then it will go faster, which I know we think that too, and I'm sure we have all done that. Okay, custom blending. Now, how do we put all these suckers together, right? When are we going to mix these? How do we mix them in? What do we do with that? I will tell you. In that, in your handout section, you can print the protocols out. So the hyperpigmentation facial is a pretty easy one to follow. Here we go. So I've stuck with Skinscript on this one for you, just to keep one baseline product line. Now, you can obviously change things out, but this is a base for you to start with. So we want to cleanse with the green tea cleanser first. This is a great cleanser. It's going to help foams up nicely, natural foaming agent. It's going to help really clean the skin, excuse me, not dehydrate the skin. Second cleanser is a glycolic cleanser. The Skinscript glycolic cleanser is one of my favorites. It is a 17% glycolic. Strong. It's great. All of your clients that are aging, pigmented, acneic, they should have it at home. Use it a couple of times a week at home. It's great. This is going to help take any extra oil, dirt, debris. This one is going to strip the skin a bit, which is what you'll want to do prior to our exfoliation. So here are your options. Now, for this particular protocol, you have optional of light steam if you want. We're going to exfoliate with the lemon zest enzyme, 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, now how do we boost that? Let's say our client, they are dehydrated though. You can boost the lemon zest. You're going to add a half a teaspoon of the Skinscript lactic peel to it and mix it together. Now you can either use it with a brush and a bowl. I just mix it all in my hands. I have gloved hands, mix it in my hands, and I personally apply it that way because I like to make sure that I really get it on everything. But again, you can use a brush is perfectly fine. It will work great with a brush as well. Or you can add a half a teaspoon of the TCA. So even though the TCA technically can stay on for those 8 hours, you can bump up the brightening effect of this lemon zest enzyme if you add the TCA to it. I mean, really, you can add the TCA to the glycolic peel if you want to and use it to cleanse with if you're really getting excited. But we also want to make sure we're charging based on if we're boosting, right? So if we're just doing an enzyme, that's one type of treatment. If we're slapping a whole bunch of other stuff in there, that's going to be a different price as well, right? So let's keep those things in mind. But you can boost it with these two. These are the two that I personally like to add to the lemon zest if you're going to add anything to it. Do extractions if you need. And then you have a couple of different, there's actually a lot of different variations for mask, but mask, I chose the strawberry spearmint or the goji berry yogurt mask. The strawberry spearmint, it has some clay in there, which is really nice. So if your client has a few breakout areas, inflammation areas, things like that, the strawberry spearmint is good for that. If they're really, again, they're really dehydrated and you had to add the lactic in there, that's the peel that you chose. The goji berry is a really great alternative because it's a nice cream hydrating mask and it smells delightful. After we remove our mask, again, I'm really particular about my towels, which I'm sure all of you are as well, because we all have our obsessions about certain things, right, in our room. The microfiber towels that Alexander's that we carry are great. They take off product well, they clean really well, because I put mine on, the 10-hour cycle of cleansing in the washing machine. So it really does help to take all of these off of the skin nicely. Now, when you're done with your mask, you're going to add the Skinscript Cucumber Toner. You can put that on however you want. You can spray it. I don't have mine next to me. You can either spray it on the skin. The Pro size comes with a great pump. So you can pump it on some 2x2s if you want, or cotton, however you use it, and apply it that way. Totally up to you. There's no wrong answer on that. And then after, you're going to apply your serums. So you're going to add your Ageless Serum by Skinscript if you want. I did throw in, if you're familiar with Ciabattona, the Ginkgo Serum is really great as well. I love ginkgo. It's also going to be nice and hydrating. The Ginkgo is good anti-inflammatory as well. Or if you have Hail and Hush, you're going to use that Soothe Essence Serum, full of anti-inflammatory ingredients, hyaluronic acid, really nice and hydrating. You're definitely going to want to add some hydration into that skin because the lemon zest is going to be super brightening. It's great, but it is going to strip the skin down a bit. So you want to make sure we throw that moisture back in there, right? And then you want to moisturize, right? What are we going to moisturize with? Again, kind of varies. I did pick the Skinscript, the Ageless Moisturizer. I love this one. I love this one because it's heavy enough, but it's not really heavy on the skin. So a little bit goes a long way. It smooths out really nicely because we've already put a lot of product on there. The Ageless will sink right in nicely. The Dr. Schwab, also the Ciabattona, does have the Ginkgo Moist as well. Also really hydrating. It's going to be brightening to the skin. It sucks right in, so you're not dealing with a lot of extra oils or anything like that left on the skin. If you have Hail and Hush, Hush Hydrate, love the Hush Hydrate. That is great for everyone. Again, we've got so many anti-inflammatory ingredients in there. It's really going to help hydrate and lessen any of that inflammation on the skin. And then, did I push it? Nope, oh, wrong way, guys, sorry. Last step, never forget your SPF, guys, unless it is dark outside. If it's not dark outside, always have to add SPF, especially if we've done this type of facial. You've done really great exfoliation. The last thing you want to do is have them walk out with non-protected skin. So SPF, we carry a great sunscreen called Bion. There's tinted and non-tinted. So it's nice and smooth on the skin. So if there is any redness, if they needed to go somewhere after, you can throw some of the tinted on. That's going to help cover any of that erythema, any of that irritation look. It'll help them glow a little bit, which is so great. You can also retail that to them. Skinscript has an SPF also, which is great for after. Hail and Hush, I really love her SPF for after facials because it doesn't, you don't have to work at it to get it into the skin. It just sinks in nicely. It's a great, easy, light, physical sunscreen. So this particular protocol, I call that just the signature facial protocol, right? So I did that because your signature facial, I just named mine the name of my business, right? So these are going to be, this signature is going to be one that you can boost, take up and down, basically, right? You can add things to it, you can take things away from it, you can still give a really great treatment. So I've blended all of our product lines together. If anyone hasn't noticed, I kind of picked my favorites out of them. That's what I put in there. The Ambrosia one-step cleansing oil, this is one of my favorites. I do love an oil cleanser, especially on my oily clients, to be honest with you, because it really just breaks everything down. It's so great for those clients that have a ton of makeup on. The end of their workday, the one-step cleansing oil really helps to smooth the skin. It helps to really clean, gets all the eye makeup off. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I am too lazy to do a whole other section on the eyes. I want my cleanser to take the eye makeup off as well, so that I have one fluid motion through the whole service and not trying to fight with eye makeup. This is actually one, I was going to bring it out of my bathroom because I use it at home, but I forgot this morning, so I apologize. But the one-step cleansing oil is great. The second cleanse, again, that green tea cleanser is also going to be really nice. Not going to be stripping to the skin. Nice natural cleansing, natural foaming agent in there. So it's going to help give that nice foam that people do enjoy, but again, not going to strip the skin. So we're going to clean the skin off that way. Now, as far as exfoliation is concerned, I didn't actually put enzyme in there for you because I kind of want you to think about what you want to put in. I want you to take this protocol and say, oh, Susie, I want, you know what, that would be great for Susie. So you can decide how you want, which exfoliant, the enzyme that you would like to start with. So optional light steam is always, if you like steam, if you don't, it's up to you. Boost option 1. So apply a dime size of the Dr. Schwab, the bamboo cream peel that we discussed on Tuesday. So the bamboo cream peel is a scrub. If you're not with us on Tuesday, it's a really great scrub to start with. So let's say that you do need some extra exfoliation for your client, but we're thinking maybe an enzyme may not be the only way we want to go, but adding a actual chemical peel to your enzyme might be too aggressive. So the cream peel is a great way to start. So after your cleanses, you can add that physical exfoliation to the skin. Now, like I said before, so this does have that great granule in there. How do you get that sucker off? Add a little more of the one-step cleansing oil to it, and that will get it off for you. Then you can add, and you can do that under steam, right? The steam doesn't need to be on the face so that your client feels like they're suffocating, right? You can have just enough steam to make sure that the skin is moist, so things don't dry and get stuck on the skin. The light steam with this is still really great. So you can add that, then you can add your enzyme. So let's say you want it, you can use the papaya enzyme by Dr. Schwab. The pumpkin enzyme by Dr. Schwab would be also great for after this, or you can use any Hale and Hush enzymes or any of the Skinscript enzymes that you would want after that. Or again, with our exfoliation, you can add whichever enzyme, Skinscript enzyme you want, and then you can add that half a teaspoon of the lactic peel. I did put the coconut on here because, to be honest with you, I love the coconut enzyme. It is one of my most used in the office because with the coconut, again, if you weren't with us Tuesday, the coconut, it's great for your sensitive skins, but coconut itself, small molecule, penetrates well. It's really hydrating and softening to the skin. But with this one, it can also create a little bit of circulation is the word I want. So it can help brighten the skin up. It's going to kind of get that redness in the skin, which I love. I love to light my clients up. All of you have heard me say that before. So with this one, you can do the coconut enzyme, add a little bit of lactic if they're a dehydrated client, but we don't, again, want to do a really aggressive enzyme, but we do want to bump it a little bit. So that you can do under, again, you can do it under light steam if you like steam. You can leave that on 7 to 10 minutes. When you add a peel to your enzyme, you do not need to neutralize it. It will be fine. You can just take it. If you feel the need to, you absolutely can. It's not wrong. You just don't have to, because the peel has already been blended into the enzyme that way. It's already not dull, but it's kind of broken down a little bit more. You can also, to be honest with you, take option 2 and do option 1 with it. So you can do the manual bamboo cream peel first, then you can do the coconut with the lactic. Again, there's no wrong answer on that. Extractions if you need to. Another optional boost is microcurrent, LED, or whatever other modalities that you have in your office. Those would go great. And then our step 5, we mask. So again, that Goji berry mask is great for dry dehydrated. Dabatana, the Arnica Mask, is really great for your more sensitive clients. So let's say we did that coconut with the lactic because we needed to add that hydration to our client, but they are still a little bit pink and we want to shut that completely down. The Arnica Mask is really great for those sensitive skins as well. We remove our mask with our great towel, 4x4, whatever makes you happy in your office. Then we add our serums. I chose the Soothe Essence serum for this particular protocol. Again, it's so great with the anti-inflammatory ingredients there. It's going to help to hydrate the skin with the hyaluronic. And then I added the Hush Hydrate as the moisturizer. Again, going back to the anti-inflammatory, gonna nicely moisturize. It's gonna sink into the skin. I tend to pick the lighter moisturizers, SPF, things like that for the end of my treatments because I don't mind leaving my facials dewy, but I don't want to feel like I've got a ton of product kind of left on the skin that hasn't actually penetrated all the way in. So I do like to pick the ones that I know will sink right in. And then again, the SPF, the buy-on, the tinted or non-tinted ones, those two also don't leave that white film on the skin. They sink in really well. They will smooth over all of this product that you've put on. It will smooth over it really nicely as well. So again, your client doesn't leave feeling like they have this crazy white face when with zinc or titanium or whatever kind of SPF that you tend to like to use, right? Now, a big question that I get a lot is, what do you use if something goes wrong? So such a good question. These are my go-tos right here. Now at home, I keep the Relief Bio Powder and the Rescue Cream. These I don't live without. These travel with me. These live at my house. I give them to people because these are the ones that these are 2 of my favorite rescue products. So let's say, and even if you didn't create the challenge, let's say your client has a cut on their hand somewhere or something like that. I will mix the Rescue Cream and the Relief Bio Powder together, or I just use the Rescue Cream. It's a great, I'm going to show you. So this particular, the way that this comes, this pot, the Rescue Cream, going to last you a good amount of time. So everyone that loves Neosporin, I have switched them onto the Rescue Cream. So those clients, if you have clients that are chefs and they burn themselves, I actually might make my husband come in here because he has a very large, he got a horrible oil burn actually on his wrist. So we took care of it, and then I made him put the Rescue Cream on. We kept mixing it with the Relief Bio Powder as well and kept it wrapped so that it's actually not as pigmented and it healed a lot faster. So the Rescue Cream, this has evening primrose oil in it. It has, let me put it on this hand so you can hopefully see it a little bit better. It's great for your lips too, by the way. It also comes called the Lip Rescue. Same thing, lip form, so great. It has, so evening primrose is going to protect the skin from irritation. It has lanolic in it. It's going to also help to regulate cellular activity, which is why it's really good for the healing. So again, burns, cuts, scrapes, things like that. Has cactus, it's going to soothe, it's antiseptic, arnica extract, which we love, anti-inflammatory, helps with blood flow. There's also sweet almond oil, so it's going to help soften and soothe the skin. This is also one of those products. So I live in California. We have the Colorado office. Every time I go there, my poor face feels like it's going to crack apart, no matter how I've prepped it, no matter how many masks I bring with me. It always feels like it's going to crack. So I can lather this on as my moisturizer. It's going to help hold any moisture I actually have in there. It's going to hold that in. You can also, if you get a lot of bloody noses, if you get really dry, you can put it just a little bit kind of within the round of your nostril. That will help. Plus, too, it actually will help anything going in your nose. Just saying. Now, the Anti-Ozone. So I don't have the Anti-Ozone at home. This is a great powder. So the Anti-Ozone, it has kaolin clay in it. It's aloe and chamomile. Oh, you have it? Okay, great.
Yep.
I can't see you, so I don't know. Okay, good. Okay. So the Anti-Ozone is really great for, you can mix this particular one and the Relief Bio. You can mix this in with any mask, any enzyme. You can mix it with water on its own and create a paste for the skin. You can also, if someone does have a severe burn, you can mix it with milk, right? Because milk is going to be nice and soothing. So I did actually have a person that I know burnt her client with the Skinscript pumpkin peel, called me in a panic, said, oh my God, what do I do? And I was like, all right, these are the products you need. So the Anti-Ozone mask, I told her she needed to do it to her client every week and actually send, because it's a powder, I did have her put it in a to-go little container for her client so that she could actually mix it up and put it on at home. I honestly, you can put the powder on itself, by itself too, because it can still help to cover, but you can mix it in with any product that you have. It mixes really well. If you have the CA baton of the papaya enzyme, you can mix a little bit in with that. That can help kind of take down some of the aggressive activity of that, which is also great. So it's really going to help restore and heal the skin. Now, the Relief Bio powder is a little bit different. We're talking about two different powders, right? So the Anti-Ozone is an more aloe chamomile base. It has the kaolin clay in there as well. Now, the Relief Bio powder is more licorice root and it has titanium dioxide. So the licorice root, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. So with that one, I actually you can mix the Anti-Ozone in with it as well, but you can take a little bit of your Relief Bio powder and mix it in with your rescue cream if you need to. So again, for burns, scrapes, cuts, things like that. And it just creates a little bit of a balm. The Relief Bio powder, so I cut it on my lips because my lips are dry. So great. So the Relief Bio powder and the Anti-Ozone mask, a little bit goes a really long way. So when you buy these, you don't need to buy a ton of them. The Relief Bio powder is something I actually do because it's this great little size here. I do retail it to my clients who have rosacea. If you do, let's say you do an aggressive chemical peel, this is a great thing to send home with your client. They can mix this with water. They can add it to any of their moisturizers, their masks that you have them using at home. It is a great 911 product. So those are my 911s. Those three. You have any combination of these three, you will be saving the skin. Yeah. And I have tried, sadly, I also know too, that at one point I had been using a vitamin A. And of course I put it under my brows, like you're not supposed to, but of course I was told I shouldn't, so duh, I did. And then I of course went and got my eyebrows waxed by my esthetician, and she was like, hi, rude. And we didn't do a consultation, and I didn't tell her, and I forgot, to be honest with you. So my skin came off, and I used the rescue cream, totally fine. It didn't discolor, it didn't scar, it didn't scab, it didn't do any of those things. So these things, I'm telling you, are so great for, if you need rescue products, these are the way to go. And again, the rescue cream, Wendy, I do somewhere, but if you can show them the lip rescue too, so you can retail this size to them as their like medicine cabinet. But I'm telling you, the lip rescue is also pretty phenomenal. Trivia time again. All right, let's see who else retains more information that I have thrown at you today.
All right, and just so you know, here's what the, it's so hard to show in this camera. Here's what the Lip Rescue cream looks like, and it comes in a, you know, little lip gloss kind of dispenser. So
yeah, it's perfect. It's great.
You don't have to put your finger.
Yeah, which we love, right? I hate sticking my finger in pots.
Right. All right, here we go. Let's do a little review. Here comes the first one. Frosting of the skin may occur with which of the following peels? Okay, good job, you guys. I'm going to try a new feature where we're going to try to share the results. Looks like people said the cranberry turnover peel.
Beautiful. Oh, cool. That's so cool.
Yes, we're learning. We're learning.
Guys, we're getting really good at this.
All right.
So yes, so you guys had added that did pick the TCA. I'm not going to say that this particular TCA is not going to make the skin frost. If you have other ones, then yes, that is a normal reaction. But as far as the Skinscript TCA is concerned, you're not going to see them frost.
Okay, good point. Thank you. Okay, next question, one more. Which of the peels require neutralization? Choose all that apply, so you can have more than one answer. Wish I could show the live results. It's fun seeing how they switch around.
Yeah.
All right. I think we are good. Most people answered glycolic and lactic. Let me share the results.
There you go. Yeah, so let's remember, guys, the TCA, it self-neutralizes, right? So that you don't need to neutralize. That's the one you're sending your client home with it on their skin. So it stops working. So, and the cranberry turnover peel, it's a salicylic base, right? So it's a beta hydroxy, also does not need to be it self-neutralizes. So you do not need to neutralize it with the baking soda.
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
tongue-tied today.
All right, that's all for the question, for the polls.
Perfect. All right, let's go back to what I want to show you here. There we go. Okay, so we do have some cool other webinars coming up. I get to take a break from them, so you get to see some other fun faces. We have Monday, the Atoll Wax. If you have not learned about all of our wax lines, the Atoll Wax educator will be running that webinar on Monday the 6th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So we got to get up early as Californians, which I like, to be honest. And then we've got Treating Acne with my awesome counterpart out in Colorado, Brittany. That's going to be on Thursday the 9th. She is going to go through how to treat acne. Products, we'll go through those as well. So this is who we are, right? Alexander's Aesthetics. If you don't know, haven't seen us before, welcome. We are really excited to reach new people at this point. We have 2 locations, the Alexander's Aesthetics that's out here in California, which is where I'm at. And then we have the Colorado location, which is the one that Wendy runs, owns, and is all of those things. We are a family-owned company, so because of that, the 2, it's actually a really fun thing. The California location, the husband and wife, and her wonderful husband, Pat, they go into the office. They are able to ship out orders to you guys still. So as long as UPS is running, we will get things out to you. You can order online, or you can talk to my amazing boss in the office, see if you need any questions answered. Otherwise, you can call the Colorado location. Wendy and her wonderful husband, Scott, are there packing up orders and all of that for you guys as well. We are doing drop shipping, so you definitely want to keep those retail sales up for your clients right now, right? They're going to run out of product this month. That's right? They should only have their products for about a month or so. So we are drop shipping to your clients for you. So we can definitely still, thankfully, help you out with that. We are online everywhere. Our amazing office manager for Hannah runs all of that stuff, so you can keep up with us on all the social media and all of that, to make sure that you are up to date with all of the things that we are doing. All right, guys. So this is the end of the fun slides. So if you have questions, hopefully you threw those in that question box there, and Wendy is going to field those to me.
All right, and just to let everybody know, if you need to drop off, because I know we went over the hour, feel free to drop off. This is recorded. We'll go through until we end all the questions. If you need to drop off, you can always view the recording, which will be on our websites probably by this afternoon or tomorrow, and you'll also receive an email from GoToWebinar as well. All right, so questions. Here we go, Tiff.
Ready.
If you have an acneic client that comes in with moderate to severe surface dehydration, where would you start?
You want to start with something gentle. We want to actually handle the dehydration first, because if you start too aggressive, and actually this is a great question for next week for the acne webinar, but you want to start handling that dehydration first, because they're severely dehydrated. That means that there's no protective barrier on the skin now. So if you use like the cranberry turnover peel or something like that, that's going to be too much for the skin. I would go with something super gentle, either the raspberry enzyme by Skinscript. That's great. It's anti-inflammatory. It's not, that one is going to soften the skin. There's not a ton of actual hydrating factors, but it's going to at least help with the barrier function, right? We need to fix the barrier function before we kind of go after all of the acne. And then I would really dial in their home care. I'm going to be perfectly honest, with the severe acne clients, I always kind of throw on the microcurrent. I do a lot of microcurrent in the beginning to really help kind of remove everything that's going on, get some blood flow in the skin, because it's going to be non-invasive, but it's going to still help get things moving. But I would go with the raspberry enzyme by Skinscript. That's a nice, gentle way to start, at least getting that protective barrier back. I would throw in some Hail and Hush, the Soothescent serum. I would throw that in their home care, because that's, again, going to help with that barrier function and protect the skin. Then you can start really dealing with the acne. A lot of times you will find that the client that's so dehydrated, dry, and so aggressively stripped, that is why they have such aggressive acne too. So I hit dehydration first, then you go after the acne after.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. I was muted for a minute.
Okay.
There's a little technical difficulty on someone, and they missed how you neutralize the peel.
Okay.
Quickly go over that real quick.
So half teaspoon of baking soda and cup of water. Very simple, thankfully. That is, just mix that up in a little bowl. I put little microfiber towels in there, and that's how you neutralize. So half teaspoon baking soda, cup of water. I would use cold water.
Thank you. How often is too often to do a peel? Once a week?
Good question.
Month?
Depends on the client. Depends on what your goal is with that client, and it depends on the peel. So if you want to be really, aggressive, you can do weekly peels, which is totally fine. Right now, again, because we're at home, I've started doing TCAs every week, and I just add more layers on every week. That is going to help with my pigmentation. Then on top of that, what I've been doing on my own self, just to kind of see how it might work, is I'll do a peel on myself, and then a couple of days later, I'll do a gentle, I'll use the Incredible Enzymes by Hale and Hush. I've been doing that, so that as that little bit of flakiness starts, that enzyme will start to take those off gently without me having to scrub them off or peel them off. But you can definitely do peels every week. But again, it'll depend on how aggressive you want to be. It will depend on the type of peel that you're using. And every client is going to be different. But your monthly maintenance, it's always okay to throw a little bit of a peel in there. Otherwise, if you want to really punch the skin hard and quick, then you'd want to do a series once a week.
Okay. What is a protocol for acneic clients using topical prescriptions from dermatologists? Like
that's going to be a tricky, that's actually going to be a really long-winded, tricky answer. And I'm going to say I would probably tell you to listen to Brittany's webinar. I am not an acne specialist, to be honest with you. That is not my clientele. If they're using any kind of home regimen or topical anything, you're really not doing aggressive treatments in room. You're not doing actually any exfoliation. So those clients, I will just do some extractions on. I might do a light steam, very light. I mean, the steam is far away and it's just enough just to help get some moisture on there to soften the skin, because most of those drugs that are topical, they're drying. So again, I work more on the barrier, the surface, and then we just do some extractions. The Release Bio Powder, or actually the Anti-Ozone mask mixed with water, is a great ending mask, because that's going to help bring oxygen into the skin. That's going to help with the inflammation. But those are actually, your protocols on those are going to be very limited and basic, because you're not putting any acids on the skin. We're really not going to use any enzymes that are active in any way. I wouldn't do tons of scrubs either, because again, their barrier function, their acid mantle is already so compromised that you want to add water back into the skin, and we want to do anything that's going to be anti-inflammatory. So I go after that client as a hypersensitive client. Those are kind of the protocols that I would lead. So I actually do a little more Hale and Hush on that. But again, that Anti-Ozone mask is really great as just mixed with water after your extraction.
Cool. Okay, when should you expect someone to peel after the TCA?
Ooh, totally depends on the person. So it depends on how well they've prepped their skin. It depends on if they use a Glycolic Cleanser at home. It depends on if they have other exfoliants that they're using at home, or it depends on how healthy their skin is a lot of the time, right? So it also depends on how many layers that you put on of the TCA. So I can't show you close enough to see what my skin is doing right now. But to be honest, I put makeup on for you guys. There's just a little bit of what I call the micro peeling. So it's just enough dead skin that you wouldn't see it with the blind eye. You can feel it, but they're probably not going to necessarily come off. The skin's not going to come off in sheets. If they are going to peel, it would be in a couple of days. So I wouldn't say if they're getting married on Saturday, do the peel on like Monday, right? You're going to want to do it a couple of weeks prior. But it also, again, depends on how many layers you put on. But they are going to peel. It's within a few days.
Okay, great. And Anna had a follow-up question on that, wondering if Skinscript has a pre and post consent form. I put a link in the chat box that points you to the Skinscript website under downloads. There's a zip file for all their consent forms there as well. So you guys can get those from there. So that is a good question.
Yeah, it's an awesome question. And you guys really, if you're gonna do peels, be really good about your consultation with your client. Make them understand they have to do what they're told at home. Anyone that's ever heard me speak before, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, I always talk about how important that consultation is and making your client follow their home care protocols. Because if they want to see results, they have to do what they're told. And you also want to make sure that you're protecting their skin, because clients, we do it too. We get so excited. We're like, peel it off, take it all off. And then we keep going with it. And then you're like, oops, I just burnt my face off, my bad. And, you know, we obviously want to really avoid doing that. So be really good about making sure that your client stays on task. I'm really mean to my clients sometimes about it, to be honest. They know that they better do what they're told.
All right. Let's see here. So a couple questions about the rescue cream and the lip rescue. Just to let everyone know, I'll put this in the chat as well. That's from a product a line that we carry, Dr. Schwab. And the rescue cream and lip cream are the same product, just in 2 different bottles. So that handles a couple of those questions. And like I said, I'll put a link in there in just a second. All right. Let's see. There was a question here about if you mix the enzyme in with a peel, and one of the peels that self-neutralizes, do you still need to take it off because you mix the enzyme in?
You don't need to neutralize it. You always need to remove it, yes, but you don't need to neutralize it. If it's mixed in with the enzyme, no neutralization is needed.
But it needs to be removed?
Yes.
Okay.
The only one that you're going to leave on the skin is the TCA.
Okay, great. All right. Question from Melissa. Did you say to mix the booster into lemon zest or to layer?
Either. Neither one of those are incorrect. I am a mixer. I'm not a layerer. Now I'm going to take that back too, because if you layer, let's say you put the lactic on first and the lemon on top, that is a great way to do that. That's going to make your client definitely peel. That you will need to neutralize. You will want to take the lemon off, but you will definitely want to make sure that after that comes off that you do still neutralize, because the peel itself was directly on the skin, so that you would neutralize. Mixed in with the lemon zest, you're not going to get as strong of a peeling after effect. You are still going to add that hydration to it. So when you're adding a peel into the enzyme, it'll dilute down a bit, right? So it's not going to necessarily be as strong. So that's why you don't have to neutralize those for the most part. But if you layer it, again, that's not wrong. You can definitely layer, put the lactic on, then the lemon zest on top. You can still steam them. If you want them to feel it, you can definitely still add some of that steam to it too. But if you layer, then you have to neutralize. Hopefully that makes sense. So much information, I know.
All right, if someone is new to getting facials, would you start with a lesser strength enzyme like raspberry peach and then move them into something like the lemon zest?
Yeah. If they've never had a facial before, you don't want to overwhelm them, right? So we want to make sure that they will see results, and you will definitely feel the skin is smoother. If you feel like they come in and you got a hot mess on your hands, which that happens a lot, right? You're like, wow, where do I start? And we do need some more exfoliation. Start with the scrub. Add a scrub in there first. I would add a non-aggressive one. I wouldn't go with the retinol scrub first. I would do the bamboo scrub or the raspberry scrub. The bamboo scrub is CA Botana, the raspberry is Skinscript. I would go with one of those. You can add the enzyme on top of that if you really wanted to. That will help a little more aggressive, but not, again, overdoing any of the exfoliation. Some clients if they're not used to one being touched, if they're not used to having products like that on the skin, they may not really enjoy a lot of peeling or any of that. You also want to get to know their skin. What can their skin handle? Their skin may not be able to handle the lemon zest, especially the first time they come in, because I can almost guarantee that their acid mantle isn't going to be wonderful and balanced. So you want to work into that progression. So the raspberry or the coconut or the Hale and Hush is great too, as the first enzyme. I would go. I'm a slow mover when it comes to new clients. I really like to get to know their skin and work them into more aggression if that's what they want.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Lynn here in Colorado. Is high C okay to use as an add-on with salicylic in your opinion?
Is sorry, you cut out.
Is high frequency okay to use as an add-on with salicylic?
Absolutely, yeah. High frequency is great. You can add that in anywhere that you want, right? Because high frequency is going to help kill bacteria, all of that. It's definitely not going to be overwhelming. It's a great way to also help kill bacteria before or after, whenever you want to throw that in. Absolutely, it's totally fine.
Okay, great. Are there any other oil cleansers that you would recommend other than the one mentioned, which was the Ambrosia one-step cleansing oil?
We don't have any other cleansing oils that we carry. And to be honest, one of the reasons I actually really like the Ciabattona one the best, a couple of reasons. One, even though it is an oil base, I put it on first, then I actually add a little water to my hands. That will emulsify it. That is also makes it a little bit easier to remove. There's also a product that you can mix with the one-step cleansing oil that you can't do with other cleansing oils. Not that I'm opposed to other cleansing oils. I mean, I love oil, just to be honest with you. So however you want to lather that on, I'm good with. But I love the one-step too because Ciabattona also has what's called the tea tree prep. And the tea tree prep was made for antiseptic purposes. So you can clean your surface areas off with it. It's actually okay on the skin as well. It's not so aggressive. But if you mix those two together, it creates a really nice lotion, which is really great, to be honest, for after waxing, because it's going to be antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, but it's also going to be gentle hydrating because that oil blend in there. So that's kind of why I'm a little pigeonholed on the one-step cleansing oil by Ciabattona. And none of the other products that we have has a cleansing oil. And even outside of our product lines, I actually haven't totally fallen in love with anyone else's. I would totally tell you, to be honest, too.
Okay. Yes, she would. All right. So regarding home care, do you recommend the green tea cleanser to clients for home care?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Green tea is one of my top sellers. If you, the green tea is great for those that really want something that's foaming. If you have a client that doesn't love creamy cleansers necessarily, but they are to that severity of dehydration where the green tea might still be just a little bit too much for them, Ciabattona has a really great foaming cleanser, the Herbal Foam Cleanser. It's a creamy cleanser, but it foams. So that way your client still gets the foam that they want, but you're still getting that creamy version in there that's not going to be overbearing to their skin. But the green tea is a great, and her cleansers, I should have brought one out. I have them all I have all of the cleansers, just so you guys know. She's got like 5. I love all cleansers, so I have them all. They last a really long time too. The green tea is definitely one of my top sellers. It's a great way to start with people. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, how much extra do you charge if you're boosting your treatments with acids?
So my facials vary a ton, actually. So our basic protocol that we went through, I charge $165. If I'm doing any kind of extra anti-aging, any of that, we're bumping into the like $195 range to what do I charge? I haven't charged anyone in so many weeks, I forget. I play into the like $225 range.
Okay.
When I boost, yeah.
What about regimens prior to peel services? Do you recommend you do some things before?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Home care is really, if you're gonna have clients that they come in and they're like, I just want to peel. And I've argued with people before because I'm like, that's so great. You can't have one today because you're not using the correct product at home. And they'll be like, well, someone's done it to me before. And I'm like, well, that's great, but just peeling your face off isn't going to necessarily help you. especially if you actually have a goal. So if you're going to do a peel series or just a straight peel on anyone, they definitely do need to be prepping the skin at home. Skinscript, they actually do have great, this is the Skinscript Bible. I love it so much. There's a lot of information in there. There actually is protocols that will help you with that. But the glycolic retinol pads is a great way to start prepping the skin for if you're going to start doing aggressive peels. The glycolic cleanser at home, I wouldn't say the retinol scrub. I generally go with like the glycolic cleanser, the glycolic retinol pads. Those are great preemptive items that you'd want them to start using at home before you start an aggressive peel series.
Okay. Great. All right. There's a question about facial waxing.
Yeah.
How long do you have to wait to wax after a stronger peel?
So what I tend to do with my own clients, it does depend. Some clients, you have to kind of almost pick one or the other. And it also depends on the part. So if you're doing a full face wax, you want to do that prior. I would do it 2 weeks prior to the peels.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just doing, let's say, like you just have a lip wax that you're doing and we don't have a ton of pigment or you're not super concerned about that, you can do it in the same service, put the rescue cream on the area that you've waxed, and then you can do the peel around it. But I would wax first. I would do it 2 weeks prior to your peel service.
Okay, great. Here's a good question from Danielle, and not an odd question, Danielle. She wants to know if the Hail and Hush Relief Bio Powder comes in different colors. She's concerned about if they want to wear it out after the peel has been done. So
oh yeah, you don't have to worry about the color. It's a great question. It's a normal question actually. So when you actually put that powder on, you can just kind of rub it in. Hopefully you can see that, right? So it'll help cover any kind of redness or irritation in the skin. So it's not actually going to create that, like, oh, look, you have a weird powder color that doesn't match your face look on. You can also mix it in with your SPF before they leave. That will help cover some of that redness irritation too, without it being a powder. Yeah, that was a great question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, couple questions about LED, like the My Skin Buddy.
Okay.
How often would you use LED alongside a weekly or bi-weekly TCA peel, and can it aid in healing and turnover?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's not going to necessarily help with turnover, right? Because we're not doing any kind of exfoliation with LED, but that's really going to help heal the skin. So you can do it. I mean, honestly, you can LED every day and be perfectly fine. If you want to pair those two together, that is a great thing to do because it will actually help them not slough off as much for the most part because you're going to heal the skin so much faster. So make that a treatment, right? You're going to get a chemical peel and then LED right after. It's so great. Yeah, LED is one of those that you can do it every day, all day, and it won't harm you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Good question about insurance, which I don't think we covered. We do need to collect your insurance in order for us to sell you chemical peels. And so Kira would like to know if there's a particular insurance that you would recommend.
So there is actually the Associated Skincare Professionals. That is the insurance that I have. They are for our industry. So it's super easy. You can either go online. They're really nice actually over the phone too, because I've called a couple of times just to adjust my coverage for whatever other modalities and stuff that I've added on. So, and they're not really overly pricey. Associated Skincare Professionals is the one that I would recommend. Good question.
Put their link in the little chat box.
Ah, you're so good at that, Wendy.
Guys, keeps me busy. Let's see here. Okay, Gia would like to know, she's wanting to treat a client that has fine lines between the brows and above the lips. This client has had microneedling and other aggressive treatments. How would you go about treating her skin with peels, and how many layers?
So that one I would break it down. I'd go back and forth between glycolic and lactic. Again, you can also do those two peels at the same time. You would do the glycolic first, neutralize that, then do the lactic, neutralize that. You want to really make sure that home care wise, she's got, what would I give her? I would give her the Ageless Serum by Skinscript, because I really want to make sure that there's the hyaluronic acid in there, because that's going to help plump up the area, because again, it's going to help to hydrate. So that water hydration is going to help to start to plump. I would also, what you could also do is glycolic, you want to work on her a little bit more before you would try something like this, but you can do a glycolic peel, neutralize it, and then you can do the passion fruit enzyme by Skinscript. Or you can start with the passion fruit, do the passion fruit once a week for like 3 weeks, and then move into the glycolic peels. The passion fruit, if you weren't with us on Tuesday, the passion fruit has that collagen peptide, so it really starts to plump the skin up. So if you do it weekly, that would help. If you have microcurrent would help. Oxygen treatments help with that too. Oxygen is also really good. So it's microcurrent after you've done an aggressive peel. Those are going to help with any inflammation. That will help also plump the skin. But yeah, the passion fruit enzyme and the glycolic is probably the way I'd go.
Regarding sunscreens, do you recommend, we have different ones, so if someone wants to know the Bion SPF versus the Skinscript SPF?
So the Skinscript, I don't have the Bion, to be honest. Bion is still new to us, so Maggie, who is on here, hopefully still, I bet you can answer that question a little better than I can. I want to say Bion is zinc, and Skinscript. They're all physical, right? Skinscript is also zinc. Skinscript is a 13.5% zinc. And Bion, I want to say, was a 15%. Maggie, I think Maggie, again, knows better than I do on the Bion. A lot of times, to be honest with you, I go by texture for after facials. I retail a lot of the Hale and Hush because that's an easy, again, it just sinks into the skin nicely. It's an easy one to utilize. The Bion, again, we just got in, so I'm still playing around with that one for my clients too. But it's, for me, honestly, it's texture. So I do actually like the Bion. Is Maggie still there? Did she answer? Because I want to say it's a 15%.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. I can follow up too. I have them here, just if anyone wants to see. This is the non-tinted. It has titanium dioxide in it, where the Skinscript is only zinc oxide.
Right. See, I always get those two mixed up.
And then also the Bion comes in 3 shades, which is, so this one here is the non-tinted, and then this one here, it comes in light, medium, and dark. Okay.
And the shades are actually really forgiving too, so they don't look pasty.
Right. We got a few more questions about acne. I'm going to refer those to our acne presentation because we're kind of running out of time here. So hopefully everybody that is interested in acne will sign up for that next week. It's on our website. And I think we have one last question. How often can you do the TCA?
Once a week, forever. Once a week is totally fine, because again, it's just a really brightening peel, so it's not so aggressive. We're not stripping the skin. We're not taking layers of the skin off. So I've done three weeks so far, and I will probably do the next 4 that we're at home. So, and again, like it's not so aggressive that you can do it every week and you'd be safe.
Okay, awesome. Well, that is all the questions for today. So thank you so much. And we hope to see you in some future webinars with Alexander's Aesthetics. Good luck, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.